African Union Communications Early Warning and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoy, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command in combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing. On the progress of the special military operation as of July 3, 2025. The armed forces of the Russian Federation continue to conduct a special military operation. Units of the North Group of Forces in the Sumy region have improved the situation along the front line. They inflicted losses on the manpower and equipment of the mechanized, airborne-assault brigades, 3 assault regiments of the armed forces of Ukraine and 3 territorial defense brigades in the areas of the settlements of Bessalovka, Andreyevka, Alexeyevka, Sadki, Unikovka, and Andreyevka in the Sumy region. In the Kharkiv direction, as a result of decisive actions, the settlement of Melove in the Kharkiv region was liberated. Units of the Ukrainian Armed Forces Motorized Infantry Brigade and Territorial Defense Brigade were defeated in the areas of the settlements of Okremovka, Vovchansk and Vovchansk in the Kharkiv region that the Ukrainian Armed Forces lost over 240 servicemen, 3 vehicles, 5 field artillery pieces, and a warehouse of material. Units of the West Group of Forces defeated formations of 2 mechanized brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces in the areas of the settlements of Petrovka, Kupiansk, Peskanoy, and Berezovka in the Kharkiv region that the Ukrainian Armed Forces lost up to 230 servicemen, 4 combat armored vehicles, including an M113 armored personnel carrier and a US-made HIMARS armored car, 13 vehicles, and an artillery piece. 3 electronic warfare stations and 3 ammunition depots were destroyed. Units of the Southern Group of Forces improved their tactical position. They defeated the manpower and equipment of 4 mechanized, airmobile brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and the Territorial Defense Brigade in the areas of the settlements of Serebryanka, Chasov Yar, Pretikino, Sherbanovka, Bondinoy, Fedorovka, Minkovka, Seversk, and Konstantinovka of the Donetsk People's Republic. The enemy lost over 140 servicemen, 3 pickups, a fuel depot, and a warehouse of material. Units of the Center Group of Forces liberated the settlement of Razino of the Donetsk People's Republic during active operations. Defeat was inflicted on formations of 3 mechanized, Ranger, airborne brigades, 2 assault regiments of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, a Marine brigade, 3 territorial defense brigades, and a National Guard brigade in the areas of the settlements of Dmitrov, Krasnoarmeysk, Grodovka, Petrovskoy, Boykovka of the Donetsk People's Republic, Novopavlovka, and Daknoy of the Dnipropetrovsk region. The losses of the Ukrainian armed formations amounted to 440 servicemen, a combat armored vehicle, HIMARS made in the USA, 6 vehicles, and 2 field artillery guns. Units of the East Force Group continued to advance into the depths of the enemy's defenses. Defeated the manpower and equipment of 3 mechanized brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, a Marine brigade, and 2 territorial defense brigades in the areas of the settlements of Podobnoy, Voskresenka, Zelenoy Pol of the Donetsk People's Republic, Olgovskoy, Poltavka, Temirovka, and Guliapol of the Zaporizhia region. The Ukrainian Armed Forces lost more than 180 servicemen, a combat armored vehicle, 8 cars, 2 artillery pieces, and an electronic warfare station. Units of the Dnipro Group of Forces improved their tactical position, defeated the formations of a mechanized, mountain assault brigade, 2 coastal defense brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, and 2 territorial defense brigades in the areas of the settlements of Molotokh-Machka, Novoandreyevka of the Zaporizhia region, Tokarevka, Antonovka, and Sadovo of the Kherson region. The Ukrainian Armed Forces lost up to 75 servicemen, 7 vehicles, and 3 field artillery pieces. 5 electronic warfare stations and 6 ammunition depots were destroyed. Operational tactical aviation, strike unmanned aerial vehicles, missile troops, and artillery of the Russian Armed Forces groups destroyed an enterprise of the Ukrainian military-industrial complex, an assembly shop and a storage warehouse for strike unmanned aerial vehicles, a parking lot for US-made HIMARS multiple launch rocket systems, as well as temporary deployment points of Ukrainian armed forces formations and foreign mercenaries in 137 districts. Air defense systems shot down 8 guided aerial bombs and 169 aircraft-type unmanned aerial vehicles. An unmanned enemy boat was destroyed in the Black Sea. In total, since the beginning of the special military operation, the following have been destroyed: 663 aircraft, 283 helicopters, 66,777 unmanned aerial vehicles, 612 anti-aircraft missile systems, 24,112 tanks and other combat armored vehicles, 1,573 multiple launch rocket system combat vehicles, 26,894 field artillery and mortar guns, 37,594 units of special military vehicles. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.